Okay, and welcome to Thursday. It's day 4 of the hashtag 7 days of Halloween. It's a face you haven't seen on the GORECAST before, but you may have seen it in the American Horrors advert. It's Faceless Mike from the EGS.
Hey.
Say hello, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
That's good. So anyway, as we've been going through all of the EGS members' favourite movies to lob on at Halloween, so give you some cool choices of things to watch. So what's your movie, and tell us a little bit about it?
Demons. And it's metal.
That it?
Yep.
Nothing else?
No. It's awesome.
Right. So we're just going to... You told me you were going to talk about the film.
I did. It's Demons. It's awesome. That's all you need to know.
Right. So we'll cut to the trailer. Click it.
The preview you are about to watch is for a movie that is unlike any you have ever seen before. It is for a movie that goes beyond temporary fear to everlasting terror. It is a movie called Demons. Yes, the demons are coming, and they're coming for you. Warning, if you have the courage to see demons, sit near an exit. Otherwise, you might never get out. In your theater, who will survive the touch of the demons and who will not? Demons. With music by Billy Idol, Motley Crue, The Adventures, Rick Springfield, and Saxon. This is no dream. This is happening right now. And it could be happening to you. Demons. They will make cemeteries their cathedrals, and the cities will be your tombs. Will you survive it? Demons.
Okay, and we're back, where Mike's going to tell us something, anything a little extra about the movie.
Oh, it's awesome, man. I picked this up on VHS years ago, and I used to be the creepy guy showing all the younger ones all the scary horror movies. But it's just metal. It's monsters, it's metal, it's as horror as you get.
It is like, it's the epitome of 80s metal. You had, as you said, we had Billy Idol in there.
Motley Crue.
Motley Crue was in there.
Saxon!
And a load of others that I can't even remember, but it is absolutely...
Metal. It's even got the most metal ending to a horror movie ever.
Satan comes up and tells them on.
Oh, even better. Even better.
Okay, that's good. So I'd say we'd recommend it to watch at Halloween.
You need to see this movie.
If you like your zombie movies, it's got a bit of a zombie-ish kind of thing to it. If you like your supernatural demons movies,
Nostradamus.
it's got that. If you like your futuristic, predictive, end-of-the-world apocalyptic kind of thing, you got that in there.
Yeah.
You got your action. And of course, you got 80s metal.
Yeah.
And lots of it. So, because we're a little bit closer to the 7 days of Halloween, we're not just doing a movie review here. We're going to do a quick little shout-out and cut to a section from our main man at the EGS. Who is it?
Lazy, man.
Lazy Masquerade.
Hey, shout out, Lazy. Awesome.
Bringing you scary stories from the real world and on Reddit, and bringing them to you for your ear holes, and now slightly more for your visual eye holes as well.
Yeah.
We're going to cut to a little bit. It's all about a really hard-ass grandmother and some human trafficking. We're going to cut to that.
Just enjoy.
Click it.
This isn't my story, but my grandma's. She told me this story after I shared an equally horrific tale of my own. I might get around to sharing that one soon. My grandmother is a part of the time period when lots of Southerners were migrating to the northern states, looking for work and better pay to help out their families still living down south. This took her to New York, where she found seamstress work, and where this story takes place. I should also add that my grandma is a tough old bird, and she's very paranoid about people she doesn't really know, and situations she has no control over. So this story came as a bit of a shock to me, and kind of explains a little about why she might be so paranoid. I'll also add that she doesn't and never has taken any shit from anyone. She's about 5'9", had muscles in her 60s, still rocks a crew cut, and would kick some ass if necessary. She's not a typical granny at all, so if something scares her, it's really fucking scary. So, my grandma and her friend Judy worked down the street from each other. They were introduced by my grandma's boss, and hit it off pretty well, and they started hanging out frequently after work. My grandma said that one night they went out to a bar, just having a good old time. It was here that the men approached them. There were two of them, one tall and light-skinned, and the other shorter and darker. Judy seemed to know them, and seemed to be happy to see them. She introduced them to my grandma, and they all decided to hang out for the evening. After a while of drinking and having a good time in the bar, the men started asking Judy if her and her beautiful friend would like to come back to their house to continue the party, since the bar was going to be closing soon. My grandma declined, as she's always been paranoid, and she said the men were giving off creepy vibes all night, doing stuff like whispering when they thought her and Judy weren't paying attention, giving the general creeper stare, and the short dark man kept trying to touch my grandma's waist and wrist. She said he was ugly as hell, that he looked like an old screw-faced beagle in her own words, and that he was so short she practically towered over him. At one point he tried to hold her hand, and she gave him her "I'll fucking kill you" face, and he let go. The tall man persisted with the after-party idea, saying they could go and play cards, and dance some more at their big, nice house. He promised others would be there as well to party and play cards. Judy, by this time, was tanked, and the man had her convinced, but she didn't want to go without my grandma, so she proceeded to beg my grandma to come with her. She tells my grandma to stop being so paranoid and to trust her, that these guys are her friends and that they're okay. So my grandma, against her better judgment, left with them. My grandma says they drove for a good long while, and the moment she looked out of the car window and didn't recognize anything at all, she asked the man where they were going, and all he said was, "Upstate." That was when she knew she was probably in trouble. The two men sat in front, and her and Judy were in the back. Judy's telling my grandma to chill out, that they're gonna have a good time. They get to the place, and it turns out the guys didn't lie. They pull up in front of a nice big house in some suburb. They go inside, and Grandma says she remembers the front door led into some long, dimly lit hallway. They were all walking in single file down the hallway in this order: the tall man, Judy, Grandma, short man. She says that at the end of the hallway there was a door that they went to, and the tall man had to stop to open the door with a key. As they waited for him to do so, she saw a big rat in a spare room off the hall run across a dirty mattress with horrible brown stains all over it. She says that this is what initially creeped her out about the house. The stains looked like dried blood, and the mattress was the only thing in the room, just lying in the middle of the floor. So, they're all waiting for the tall man to open the door, and my grandma is about 2 seconds from losing her shit. He finally gets it open. My grandma said she barely got a glimpse into the room. The door pulled out towards them, so she could see through the crack where the hinges and the frame meet. There were women of all ages in the nude, lingerie, garters, laying all over the furniture, playing cards and smoking cigarettes with men. She also heard someone screaming. My grandma screamed as well and turned and ran, knocking the short man down in the process. She was so much taller than him that she barely noticed she'd run him over. The tall man had already grabbed Judy, who was now screaming too, and with the help of another man, shoved her inside the room with the other women and slammed the door. He then turned to help the short man chase down my grandma. She said she could hear them behind her yelling things like, "Catch that bitch," and that they'd kill her when they caught her. She managed to get down the hall and out of the door, and she ran down the street screaming because she didn't know where she was, or where a train station was to get away. By the grace of God, she ran into a little old man who was opening a newsstand. He asked her what was going on, and when she pointed at the men, he pulled out a gun and started yelling at them to get the fuck away. Thankfully, they hightailed it back to wherever. The newsstand man helped her find a train station and gave her money to help her get back to the city. My grandma never saw Judy again. Her boss told her one day that a nice-looking man came by and picked up all of her belongings from her place of work, which was also where she lived. Said he told them that Judy wouldn't be returning to work and that she had found a new place to stay. In a nutshell, my grandma avoided being abducted into a human trafficking ring. She says this has been going on for longer than the world wants to admit. For those of you who ask why she didn't call the police, you have to understand, my grandma didn't know where they took her, or if she had been given real names. She didn't know the address or anything that would have helped her find Judy. Also, being black and from Alabama back then, she didn't have much faith that the police would do anything to help her, and was afraid of what the men might do to her for meddling. She wishes she could have convinced Judy not to go along that night, and for a long time felt guilty about being the only one who got away. I'm glad she did though. I wouldn't exist if they had caught her.
And we're back. That scared the fuck out of me. Thoughts?
Love it. Oh, I love it, man. But Lazy's always got some good stories, man.
Lazy's always got some
shout
good
out
shit.
to Lazy, man. I'm the one that's answering your Twitter messages. So, hey, anyone that's ever seen this, go sub to Lazy Masquerade's channel.
Link will be
Down
right
there
about down there somewhere. So we're going to do a quick goodbye to everybody for day 4 on the hashtag 7 days of Halloween, brought to you by our homeboys at the Emerald Gore Society. And we're going to cut to a quick little friend of ours from the world of horror doing a quick little hello.
Enjoy.
And happy Halloween to everybody. Okay.
Hey, I'm Tony Todd, and I'm welcoming you to listen to everything and watch everything the Emerald Gore Society is doing. It. They are profound, they are legit, and they are Dublin's kicks. Emerald Gore Society. What you waiting for? What you waiting for? I'll be back. I'll be back. Emerald Gore Society. Giant buzz.